I love this city of mine. It never gets me down, yeah.
I was born in the city, was raised on its edges. My pop work is life when it's complex. I'm loving its center. If I could live here forever, think it.
What is going on, EP Lifers? Welcome back to the channel. You all are looking fabulous, by the way. It's me, Emily, and today we are continuing our observance of Mental Health Awareness Month for this month, in the month of May, and I am going to be doing an honest review of 13 Reasons Why. This series is a Netflix original that took place in California. It ran for about 4 seasons, started around March 2017, ended around summer 2020. It's based off of the novel by Jay Asher. This video is going to be a little different here on our Throwback Review Thursday. This video is going to be separated in parts. I'm going to leave the timestamps down below, and you'll also see the chapters in your progress bar going on at the bottom of this YouTube video. Due to this show being 4 seasons, I'm going to do a brief summary of each season, followed with the traditional EP Life honest review at the end. What I liked, what I didn't like, favorite season, least favorite season, and why. Before we get into the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and slap that notification bell. That way you can become a part of EP Life, join EP Lifers, and never miss a beat every time we post a new video. And without further ado, let's go. So in season 1, we see a locker decorated with a girl's picture. This girl is Hannah. She begins to narrate the episode and the season. She has killed herself. The school is in uproar, devastated, making sure students are seeing counselors, making sure they put up suicide awareness posters throughout the school. And you just see this kid named Clay who's just pissed off and trying to deal with what's going on in the school. Clay comes home, proceeds to see a shoebox that was sent to him, which has 13 cassette tapes in it. He finds something that can actually play cassette tapes, because what in 2017 you can find that plays cassette tapes? Luckily, he has a friend that loves the old school, starts to listen to it on a Walkman, hears Hannah's voice, instantly freaks out even more when he finds out that if he's listening to the tapes, he's one of the reasons why she has killed herself. The season then proceeds to have Hannah narrate each episode and show several reasons why she killed herself and the 13 people that are responsible. It also shows Hannah's parents coping with the loss of their daughter, trying to understand the daughter they come to find out they never knew, because they didn't know she was going through everything that she was going through, and they decide that the best action to take is to go after the school district and sue them due to the loss of Hannah. Then we head into season 2, which picks up right where season 1 left off. The trial officially starts between the Bakers and the Evergreen School District. All the students on the tapes have received subpoenas to appear in court. Some are the defense for the Bakers, and some are the defense for the school, to try to get to a consensus of what the end game of this trial is going to be. And one of those students is not Clay. Clay is actually not participating in the trial. He is trying to move forward. He has hit off a relationship with Sky, which he's seeming to have difficulties with, because he is still in love with Hannah. Clay one day opens up his locker to find a Polaroid of course, Bryce doing what, it seems like he's known for doing now, raping a girl while she's unconscious. If you don't remember Bryce is the same person that raped Jessica and also raped Hannah. Jessica and Justin has left. He is no longer in the picture. He took off after he confessed to Jessica that he let Bryce rape her, and Jessica's trying to pick up the pieces and return to school. Now, a character in this story that has now come to light more than compared to season 1 is Tyler. Tyler is struggling. Tyler's consistently being bullied. Tyler is the one that confessed that there were tapes, so the Bakers were able to get those tapes. Tony actually gave the Bakers the tapes, but Tyler brought up the tapes in court, in which those tapes could be used for the trial. Tyler is consistently being picked on in school because he had no shame in his testimony in naming all the people that were responsible for Hannah's death. Now, this proceeds to create a lot of conflict for Tyler, in which he gets to a breaking point that he cannot take it anymore. He is going to kill everyone in the school. He sets a plan that he is going to come to the dance and he is going to do some damage. Season 3. Season 3 is definitely interesting. So Bryce gets time for rape or assault. I'm not sure which way they managed to spin it in his favor. Justin gets arrested as an accessory. And here we are 8 months later, coping after spring fling and everything that happened with Clay and Tyler. And now, next thing you know, you hear Bryce is missing. No one can find Bryce. No one doesn't know anything that's going on. And of course, you find out Bryce has been murdered, and the entire season is going through what happened, his last night being alive. All the fingers, of course, point to Clay, because Clay is the genius that decides he's going to write, "I'm going to bleep and kill you," through a text message and leave it on his phone. And of course, when they go and bring him in for questioning, he chooses to erase the text message. Season 4. Season 4 is the most action-packed, emotional, gut-wrenching season, I would say, of this series. We have a lot of Clay and his mental health. What all of these things that he has gone through have done to him. Picking up the pieces from what happened with Bryce, picking up the pieces from what happened to Monty, which we'll talk about in a second, and just trying to make it to graduation, and of course, losing a loved one and a member of the family. Now, I tried to go through these recaps as summaries as best as I can and as brief as I possibly could, because I wanted to save the meat of what I felt for the review. This is what I will say. I feel that 13 Reasons Why was perfect without season 4. Now hear me out. I watched season 4 once. It's only recently that I watched it again for the sake of this review and of course observing Mental Health Awareness Month. The way season 3 ends, yes, you need a season 4 because it ends at a major cliffhanger. We finally find out that Alex is the reason why Bryce is dead. We find out that they decide to pin it on Monty. We find out that Monty is killed in jail, and Winston comes up and says that he has an alibi for Monty, and Monty shouldn't take the fall. If I had to pick out of the 4, my top 2 favorite seasons, you know what, I shouldn't even say that. Season 1 is by far my favorite. Season 3 was my favorite if it wasn't for one person, and we'll get to that in a second. In terms of season 1, I have very minimal to complain about season 1. I feel season 1 was properly executed. I love the storyline with each of the characters. I love that no matter what this school did to try to put up posters, build awareness, and be this cliche, I will say, in terms of do better, clearly it didn't work, because you find out at the end of the season that Alex has shot himself in the head because he cannot deal with the guilt about what happened to Hannah. I have minimal complaints about season 1. The scenes are very difficult to watch. They are. But I feel that the show did such a great job in capturing the essence of what those moments are and what they mean, and how, you know, the media and TV sometimes, I feel like, too afraid to show how graphic and how raw those scenes are. Shame on the people that tried to get this show canceled. If anybody's not aware, when 13 Reasons Why Season 1 first premiered in March 2017, there were a lot of complaints about the final scene, which is one of the final scenes, I will say, which is of Hannah dressing herself, changing her clothes, laying in the bathtub, and actually slitting her wrist with the razor blades, which they have proceeded to now remove. And because of that, there is now a message at the beginning of each season about what the show is about and how it has trigger warnings, etc. I had no complaints about the scene. I'm lucky I was able to catch it before they removed it. I feel that it was very heavy, of course, but amazingly executed, sent the message it needed to send. So I have zero to complain about with season 1. Season 1 is actually my favorite season. Season 2. Season 2 was different. You know, I feel that season 2 kind of threw me for a curveball, because in season 1, we learned about all these things that these people did to Hannah. Now, these same people that are on the tapes are coming to court. And we're hearing other stories from other perspectives. For example, the reason why Zach is one of the reasons why that Hannah killed herself and he has a tape is because she actually tried to tell Zach how she felt lonely, and he pretty much ignored her. He really didn't know what to say, but you later on find out in that same season that even though he ignored her, he kept the letter that she wrote him forever about how she felt. But you find out in season 2 that apparently they lost each other's virginity to each other and they had this full-blown relationship. So it was very confusing, and I'm curious as to why. If I ever have an opportunity to ask, I definitely will. I'm curious as to why they chose to leave those things off of the tapes. Like, in character-wise, why did Hannah not put that on the tapes? Because her and Zach end up losing relations because of his stupid friendship with Bryce. So why didn't she put that in the tape? And Zach's reasoning is because Clay is pissed off. He loved Hannah so much. He wanted to be the one that took her virginity, not Zach. And when he confronted Zach about it, Zach was like, she didn't put everything on my tape. Did she put everything on yours? So we never find out why. There's specific details that Hannah left out on those tapes, and we may never know. Apart from that, I think it's amazing the dynamic between Clay and Justin. Clay has grown a relationship with Justin, which I find so funny because he hated him for still kind of admitted to hating him for the most part. But I love the fact that they made sure they took the time to bring Justin back into the show, to show the life he was living, to show the guilt he felt and what it did to his life, what Bryce did to Jessica. The scene with Tyler coming back from that diversion program and Monty sodomizing him in the bathroom and basically leaving him for dead on the floor was purely raw. Like it was just so gut-wrenching to watch, but so well. It was filmed amazingly. Like I'm at a loss for words. I felt Tyler's pain once he started to get bullied about what he said in court. I felt Tyler's pain when he was laying on that bathroom floor. I felt Tyler's pain as he was packing those bags of those guns and those ropes. Spring Fling was incredible. That rekindling of Justin and Jessica, even though Jessica said it wasn't a rekindling, I feel that scene is iconic. Clay, this is what I will say. This season showed Clay and Tony's friendship more than any of them. Because Clay had stopped talking to Tony for a while. They kind of took a beat with the whole Hannah thing. And the minute Clay calls, Tony comes. And he's like, it's like he said, it's his blessing and his curse. They get up, they go find Justin. Spring Fling, Clay holding that gun, Tony driving Tyler away. The first person Clay calls in that situation is Tony. I absolutely love their friendship. They are friendship goals. My favorite part of the entire season of season 2 is the moment of the Spring Fling dance where the song that Clay and Hannah danced to the night we met plays. And everybody's instant reaction is, I have to find Clay. This group of people, they were not all friends. A lot of them hated each other. And the fact that they took the time to rebuild and to mourn the way that they did, I thought was incredible writing. They all come from all different corners of this dance to hug Clay while he cries. And Tony even cries with him. I think at a point, everybody cries with them because Hannah's gone. And no one realized the damage that they did until it was too late. Season 3, like I said, was a close favorite to season 1. But if it wasn't for one character, and that is Ani. Now, when I first saw this season, Ani's character intrigued me. I love the beginning of the way this season starts. It shows her wiping like some type of blood into the sink. It shows the aftermath of what happened with Spring Fling, how they took care of it, how everybody, I don't think Ani was a part of it, but everybody took turns keeping an eye on Tyler. No one wanted Tyler to get in trouble. And this is when I started to go from like this with the show, like this, right? Because it's one thing to try to cover each other on what happened with Hannah's tapes. It's another thing to try to cover each other with what happened with Bryce and the clubhouse and the Polaroids. But why is everybody covering for Tyler instead of getting Tyler help, right? Now, I know that the repercussions of going to the police with what Tyler did, he would have been in jail because he would have killed hundreds, if not at least 1,000 kids in a dance, not to mention faculty and staff and police maybe that were trying to help him. But there's a point in this series where the kids eventually go to the adults, and I'll get to that in a minute, but I just wish that they would have used that same method to get Tyler help sooner, because there was a lot of, we don't know why he's acting this way, let's just help him, instead of getting to the source of what happens until Tyler finally decides to share what Monty did, and Monty ends up going to jail for it. But Ani, now, for a group of people that have so many secrets and have so much to lose and are covering so much crap, I find it so crazy and very hard to believe that someone new will all of a sudden just join the mix. So I couldn't figure out why they chose to have Ani join. So I watched this season, I want to say more than 10 times. And not all in one span, obviously, but in the span of the time it came out to now. And I love how it's established that Bryce is missing. Shortly after, it's established that Bryce is dead. And there were all these different people that could have did it. Clay could have did it. Jessica could have did it. Next thing you know, Zach could have did it. There was all these different people that had a reason. I love the way they made the puzzle pieces to make it a mystery. And the person you absolutely least expect to do it does it. And that's Alex. And I get Alex's reasoning behind it. You know, he says it to Bryce. He's like, you've hurt everyone I've ever loved. And in a moment of rage, he pushes him into the water. And obviously Bryce can't swim because Zach has broken one arm and one leg and he cannot swim. But it seemed like after the fact, Alex did it to win over Jess. They choose to make Ani this person that goes to the cops and tells the cops the whole story in a way that they pin it on Monty for killing Bryce, which I'm not gonna lie, it was a pretty good idea, but why her? And the thing is that she was so damn pushy. She was so pushy, wanting to know where everybody was. And then she sucked to me because she blatantly lied to Clay. A blind person in the middle of freaking nowhere that probably can't even hear could tell that Clay had strong feelings for Ani. And here's Ani screwing Bryce and not even thinking or giving Clay the time of day. So that severely pissed me off. It kind of pissed me off that everybody covered for Alex. I'm not saying I get why they covered. Because I know they're going to be like, well, I know there's going to be that one person in the comments like, well, they're friends. I know why they covered for him. But it's like, his dad even knew he did it. There were footprints at the crime scene that resembled a limp like Alex had. The tire marks matched his mother's car. And the thing is that he just did it and then expected like Jessica to be like, okay, I love you, let's get back together. No, that wasn't the case. So if it wasn't for Ani, I feel like I would have loved the season. I love the growth of Tyler. I love how despite everything, he rose above. He has his group of friends. He found the love in his photography again and became a happier, healthier person, confessed to what he had been through, stood up in front of his peers and said that he's a survivor of sexual assault. So bravo. I think that was amazingly filmed. I feel that was perfect in terms of character development. But Ani, though, she pissed me off. Okay, now, grand finale, season 4. Let me just tell you one thing. Season 4 dragged. From episode 1 to episode 4, it just dragged. You learn the repercussions of everybody else's actions and what it does to Clay. And this is what makes me so upset, because looping back to season 3, Clay is transferred from the police station to the county jail. He has this GPS thing on his ankle. He's arrested. He's questioned by the police. All while Jessica and Alex are sitting there watching him do it. So if we love each other and we're friends so much, why didn't we come clean to find another way to go around this to prevent Clay from going through all that crap? They didn't do that. And in season 4, he paid for it. He had PTSD. He was seeing Monty and Bryce in his sleep, not in his sleep. He was seeing things. And then you later on know that he's dissociating. He's doing things without realizing that he's doing them. It's like he has this evil twin. It's insane. There's a walkout at the school, because the school has these police officer looking guards, you know, doing these active shooter drills, but in fact they don't really sound like drills. There's like gunshots, and then they're being very rough on students of different races. It's just this whole mess. So the students decide that they're going to walk out. There ends up being this whole thing. Someone sets fire to the principal's car, and then you find out that it's Clay, and he doesn't even know because he's dissociating because of his trauma. The season picks up in terms of Winston doing everything he possibly can to get to Liberty High because he wants to be around this group of friends that they're the reason why, you know, Monty took the fall for Bryce and he didn't deserve to die. And I get it. Like, he didn't deserve to die, and neither did Bryce, neither did Hannah, neither did Jeff. But why are you going so hard? Why are you acting like you have been married for 27 years? You haven't, bro. Like you guys met twice, hooked up once. Like, he said that he loved Monty. Monty later comes to him in like a ghost spiritual form and says that he never loved Monty, that he loved what Monty and him could have been, an idea of Monty. And I think once he has that realization, he finally starts to chill. Alex is exploring his sexuality, not realizing it in this season. He kisses Zach, then realizes, okay, I'm not gay. I don't know what I was doing. Then proceeds to have like this little fling with Winston. Then ends up being with Charlie, which I thought was amazing for Alex's character. I feel like Alex was exploring his sexuality the entire series, in my opinion. I feel like Alex really didn't know what he wanted, and he always pointed to Jessica, and Jessica could never give him what he needed. So the fact that he ended up with Charlie and he was happy, I thought that was perfect. The fact that Alex went to Winston and just blatantly told Winston pissed me off, because it was very hard to watch what Clay went through. And Clay went through up and down trauma for all of these actions. But no one could say anything that you killed Bryce. Everybody had to keep it a secret, to the point that Clay ended up going through all this stuff because of you. So it got to a point that nobody could take Winston anymore. And Winston was going to get ready to go to the cops. And everybody was like, oh, you know what? Well, not everyone. Probably Alex was just like, oh, I'm just going to go and tell Winston everything. And maybe he'll go to the cops. Maybe he won't. But it is what it is. Like, what the hell? Like, what? I didn't understand that at all. And the fact that Winston, and what the hell's in my eye? The fact that Winston felt the need to not tell the cops, I mean, that was a win. But the fact that he felt like, okay, now I can tell, it's okay, pissed me off. Like, I totally lost love for Alex's character after season 2. I love the comeback he made, and he struggled, but he definitely struggled in season 2, like, with the aftermath of him shooting himself in the head for visibility. He went to shoot himself in the head, and the gun kicked back, and he missed. He flinched, so the bullet went in and out, caused damage, but he's on the road to recovery. I felt for him. I appreciated his character. But after what he did to Bryce, pissed me off. Now, I'm not Team Bryce, but Bryce didn't deserve to die, and just the whole way they executed it pissed me off. Apart from that, we also learn troubling past of Justin's has caught up with him. Justin finds out that his mother is back in town. He goes to see his mother. His mother is still on her usual with the addiction, and Justin relapses when he finds out that his mother has OD'd and has passed away. Justin becomes very ill. You find out that he has HIV-1. He has a very bad meningitis infection, and he has a neurological infection in which Justin ends up losing his life. Now, that scene hurt my heart so much, because you just think of character development, right? You think about, okay, all of these characters have developed in a way. Even Bryce. Bryce got better at the end. At least he was trying to. But Justin went through a life of sexual trauma, sexual assault, having a mother that was addicted to drugs. He ended up becoming addicted to drugs. He was homeless and still found a silver lining, found a family that loved him. Clay and his parents They adopted him. He had a family. And the cards he were dealt were just unfair. It really took a toll on Clay. And that's what made me so upset about this season. The fact that everyone and all their drama took this effect on Clay because Clay loved his friends so much and wanted to be there for everybody. But not that they weren't there for him when Justin died, but I felt that he could have had more in him to help him cope with Justin had he not dealt with all of that. And that's what kind of pissed me off about season 4. With all of that being said, I feel that this is a great show. I feel that this show has a powerful message. I feel that it's something that kids in high school should definitely watch. It's not the easiest thing to watch, but it just shows that high school is hard. High school has its moments, but it's getting through high school. To know that there is life after high school, which unfortunately in Clay's graduating class, they lost 5 kids. Hannah killed herself. Jeff Atkins died in a car accident. Monty was killed in jail. Bryce was murdered. And Justin passed away from HIV. So it just shows how raw and how heavy high school is. It's not one of those things where it's like, okay, high school's hard, you'll get through it, it is what it is. No, it's just high school is so hard on these kids. We've all been through it. I went through high school, and I'm sure anybody's watching this video, you've gone through high school. It's not easy, but I think this is so important for both adults and kids to watch, probably even together, because it shows behind the reasons why. It shows what happened. It's graphic, it's gory, but it is honestly, I feel, a must-see for those suffering with mental health conditions. If I had to give 13 reasons why a rating, it would be a 8 out of 10. I really wanted to give it a 9 out of 10, but between Alex and Ani and season 4, I just couldn't. Then her and Clay end up getting together. It's this whole thing. You gotta watch it. You gotta be there. But guys, that is my honest review of 13 Reasons Why, this series. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Don't forget to drop in tomorrow where we have the honest review of the Disney Plus premiere of Cruella. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. It is completely free, and you have no idea how much it helps me. This has been EP Life. I love you guys, and I will see you guys next time.